watching the F.A.C.T Project. And here on the F.A.C.T Project, F.A.C.T, first of all, is an acronym that stands for Fundamental African-Centered Thought. The subtitle, or the idea here on the F.A.C.T Project is to convey some facts and some information to members of our community. I would encourage everyone to always check out the programming here on Full Blast Radio. As you can see in my background, we're promoting the Real DJs Matter podcast, which is tonight at 8 p.m. So be sure to come back tonight at 8 p.m. to check out the Real DJs Matter podcast. We're slated to have a guest who has not joined us. It seems he may be having a technical issue, but we're making arrangements to get him on the screen as we speak. I think he's coming in right now.
Hey, peace, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well,
but I can't see you.
Yeah, I can't see myself.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna start as we go.
Okay.
I'm hearing the echo. You hear the echo?
No. I don't hear echo.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna continue our conversation about the nation of nurse.
Yes, sir.
We started that 2 weeks ago. We had some challenges. So we're gonna see if we can restart the process.
Yes.
You said the last time we had you on that you got involved with these nurse in 1979.
Yes. It was August of 1979. Around, I would say, August. The ending of August, 79, I remember that.
Okay, now we know it's happening in the 1970s and back to the early 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain the origin stories, Nation Gods, and Earth?
Pardon me, I didn't hear you. Say that again?
I said I know it goes back to the early 1960s. Can you explain to us the origin story of Nation Gods, and Earth?
Oh, yes, sure. Yeah, well, the nation of, the 5% nation started, I would say, around maybe September, October. I'm going to say September, but it originally for us, it started in October, right? So the reason I'm saying probably in September, because of Allah, he left the temple, which was the Nation of Islam, if I'm not mistaken, in 1963. And he took the lessons with him. So he started teaching, I guess his peers at that time, and, informing them of who he was, the law and all that. And then I say around October of 1964, I was told he ran into a brother, he met a brother named Matthew, who later changed his name to Kareem. He was one of the firstborns that was taught by Allah in 1964, who later changed his name to Black Messiah. And then came, the others. We call them the first non-born. And they was teaching up in Harlem. They was teaching hard up in Harlem, and the teachings was, spreading like wildflower up in Harlem. Then it hit one of the brothers in Harlem, whose name was ABG. They used to be in a gang in Brooklyn called Cross the Park Chaplains. So he had friends in Forkling Project where he would come down to Brooklyn because they were all affiliated with the gangs. So he started teaching them in Brooklyn. I think they say he came down to Brooklyn December 19th, if I'm not mistaken. Right. And that's when the nation was basically birthed in Brooklyn. So he started teaching Universal Sham God, Jaki Mathematics, and those brothers. Those are the pioneers here in Brooklyn, who first heard the information or the teachings of the 5%. And that's how it began to assimilate and spread out here in Brooklyn. And that was in also 1964, around December 19th.
Okay, that's
That's
interesting.
interesting. So now, the Nation of God had quite an impact on hip hop culture. What are some of the influences that they had on hip hop culture?
Well, you know, back in them days, a lot of brothers was, rhyming, because that was, in the 70s was like the birth of hip hop. And, also a lot of us were young, and we were, 5%ers and studying lessons and things, putting words together. So that, trickled down to brothers, being well versed in rhyming and adding on into the hip hop culture. And, because a lot of guys was rhyming at that time as well. So you may not hear about it, but we definitely played a big part, intricate part in the urban communities in the hip hop. See, you hear a lot of names, like names that's not really associated with the 5% Nation as the forerunners of hip hop, but we were there as well. We were definitely there.
All right, so name some
Name
of
some of the things
that
that the
hip
hip
hop
hop
culture
culture
got
from the Nation of God.
Some of the things.
like the word
Like the word
peace.
peace.
Well, they say, well, like saying things like peace or word is bond, and what they call a b-boy stance was really the 5% or the guards standing on a square. So it was a lot of things, because our presence was definitely felt in the community. We had a lot of influence in the communities at that time.
Absolutely.
Very much.
Absolutely. Now, you familiar with the world famous Supreme Team, right?
Oh, who?
The world
The world famous Supreme
Oh,
Team.
yes.
Now they
Now
played
they played a
a song.
song.
It was
It was saying peace to Allah and justice.
Familiar with
Familiar with
that?
that?
Yeah,
Now,
I
was
Now
remember
was that theirs?
Was that their
Was
song?
that their song? That's
came
something that came out of the Nation of God.
Well, yeah, it was the Enlightener. That's what we call our Enlightener. They may change. They didn't change it up much, but that song was written by a brother named Knowledge Allah and Amar Education back in the 60s.
Wow.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and we would sing that at our parliament every last Sunday of the month when we had parliament. We would sing that song. So yeah, that song been around a long time.
Okay,
because I know Brand Nubian had did a version of that.
Yes. They
And
did
And
that
Billy
version.
Korak also had did a version of that.
Yes. That's our
Okay.
Enlightener. That's the Enlightener.
right.
So now,
the
the Nation of God has been around for 61 years now. What do
Yeah,
you think?
October makes 61. Yeah.
October
October
now-
makes 60 years.
Okay, now
We saw a lot of movements. Like we saw the Black Power movement, the Black Lives movement, the Black Panther movement.
None of
None of those has lasted as long as the Nation of God's person.
What do you
What do you contribute that? Why has it lasted as long as it has?
Well, because we were taught not to have a leader. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when you have a leader, when the head fall, the body follows. So what Allah taught his 5%ers at that time, that you were all leaders. We don't need a leader, but we need leadership as a people. So we were all a representative of the culture ourselves. We didn't find even he himself didn't declare himself our leader. We call him the father because he is the father of this nation. He's the founding father of this nation because he gave birth to the 5%. Because the 5% is a social construct which he gave birth to. So that's why we consider him, we call him the father. But he taught that he was our big brother. He didn't set himself above us as if he was the God of gods. He didn't do that.
Okay, now
there's no centralized leadership. So when like a new decision is being made as they can make it to the 5% Nation of God,
where does
that come?
Well, that's what our parliaments are for. When we come together, we bring things to the cipher. You know what I'm saying? That's the body. The cipher is the body. So we come together and we toss ideas around. to see, is it worth pursuing? Should we be doing that? Should we be doing that? So we all have basically what I'm saying is a vote.
Okay.
On the direction of where we should be going.
Okay.
And so the newspaper Nation Times and Earth had a 15.5%. That's still right?
Within the past couple of months, I think they discontinued it. I haven't seen it lately. So I believe it was discontinued. But it's been around for years. But prior to that, before the 5%er, we had news pamphlets called The Son of Man, The Black Family. We always had some type of information that was passed out. Now, we had the 5% newspaper, but we also used to have a paper called The Word. And that was put together by some brothers in Queens.
Okay.
God Allah Mine, Allah Supreme, Beloved Allah, yeah.
Now, does that still exist?
No, that don't exist either
Anymore.
No.
Okay. What was some of this that a person that 5% and was out?
No, I didn't hear you. Say that again, brother.
I said,
what were some of the features that found in the newspaper when it was out?
You talking about the information that was put in there?
Yeah, like
with the speakers, with the poetry, with the photographs, and what were you find in the newspaper?
Oh, well, you can find information on the nation. You can find information on the current events and what's going on. Because they took articles from brothers and sisters from wherever, whatever their geographical location was from. So you learn about what's going on, maybe in St. Louis, Minnesota, wherever there was 5%ers, they submitted articles. And that's the beauty of it. Because I said the beauty of it because when I came around in '79, basically you didn't have, brothers and sisters all over like we have today. We have brothers and sisters in England, because I used to build with a brother in England, and he also had a paper out there. They was teaching how this information really spread all throughout the diaspora. It went all over the place.
You mentioned first of all, what is the newborn?
A newborn is someone who just coming into the teachings, So we used to say, right, in the 5% Nation when I was young, coming up, that you had to be born twice. One physically and the second was mentally. So a newborn was one, I guess, one who was going through the transformation process of coming to the realization of who he is now. And he's, set out to start studying the teachings of the 5% Nation.
So is a
newborn somebody? Huh? Is a newborn somebody that's committed, or are they just like checking it out?
No, not checking it out. If you're a newborn, that means you're born into the cipher. You're a part of the culture now. You have accepted the culture, and now you're studying the teachings of the 5%.
Right. So
that means you made it.
You made a decision, a conscious decision. Like, this is what I want to do.
Okay, now
one of the main features of the Nation of God
is the
dialect
and the way
they talk. What can you tell us about that?
Well, we study supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet, as well as the lesson, but we have our self-styled wisdom. It's like basically every culture. You have language, and you have what is dialect. And we have our jargon that we use, which is our dialect of how we speak to each other. You may hear if I say somebody do the knowledge, that means to pay attention to what I'm saying. So it's about how we express ourselves. It's all a part of our dialect, how we express ourselves. We call it self-styled wisdom.
Okay.
Now, do you think that has helped with the nation to ask going to have? Because it seems like it's a way to talk. And people kind of want to know, like, inside knowledge, so they get involved with it. Do you think that helped to help the culture to last?
Oh, sure, because it was something different. And people tend to always gravitate to things that are different because it was new as well, to a lot of us, and the way the brothers that came before us, how they was representing it, beautifully. They were beautifully dressed and how they was articulating themselves. So it was very attractive, and it attracted me and attracted a whole lot of others. So you want to find out what is this, and they telling you that you're God. So wow, you want to study more on that. You want to see what this thing is about.
Now I'm glad you said that. A lot of people can't gravitate towards that. Why do you think black people can't think outside of the box that they've been taught by Europeans?
Wow, because we've been deeply indoctrinated. So it's so hard to break those shackles of colonialism, And this religion thing, it really has a hold on us that when we hear the truth, it's hard for us to accept it, because it's been, rooted so deep in us. Because you have had 5%ers who even left and went back to the church, So that's to show you how strong the teachings of Christianity or just religion period is. It keeps you believing in something outside of yourself. And some people never come into the realization that, like I said, I don't know how you see it, but we teach that the black man is God. A lot of people have a hard time accepting that because they just can't figure this thing, because life is a mystery to everybody, right? It's a mystery to us, So a lot of things we don't know, and some things that we're still uncovering and that we're discovering. But these religious books, whether it be the Quran, Bible, Torah, or whatever, it teaches them that there's some entity in space somewhere, manipulating things and that set forth a path for them to lead, and they'd rather accept that to search for something outside of themselves instead of looking within themselves. See, the 5% Nation, we teach that the black man is God. Everything's scientific, because mathematics is the science of everything in life, because mathematics is universal law, and when you have law brings about order. Everything within the universe obeys law and order. Everything. You can't show nothing outside of the science of mathematics. And we have what is 9 principles, which are the principles of what we call supreme mathematics. And that first principle is knowledge, and knowledge is the accumulation of facts. So we always on a fact-finding mission. Things that can be substantiated with proof, where we can show and prove. See, religion is teaches you, it's like faith-based. Believe in acceptance of things without proof. You just believe, you know what I'm saying? Now, see, we're not rooted at 5%. We're not a religion. Some try to, connect us to being a religion. No, we're not religious at all. Not at all. We bear witness that the black man is God. The black woman is his earth. Because we call our woman the earth, because the earth is the nurturer and the sustainer of life. So she's symbolic. That's why we call her the earth. So this is what we teach, and those who begin to study that, their mind begin to open up. They begin to become critical thinkers. It's about being a critical thinker as well, because you don't think critically, you can get caught up in a lot of these religions, and you find yourself following a cult or whatever else, because you're searching for something outside of yourself and looking, like I told you earlier, Allah consider himself our brother, not our leader. So we're not following him. What we do, we bear witness to the truth that he spoke. You know what I'm saying? If it's something he said we don't agree with, we don't agree with it, That's just the reality,
Now, when people hear that you don't believe we God, some people write that off. How do you respond to it?
it's funny because, see, I consider myself an atheist, right? A lot of 5%ers don't, because atheist is one who don't believe in God. you know, pardon me. But God, the word is just a title. Before before the word God existed, we did. So that was just another title that we use to identify with, because the word God means supreme being. And so and the word God is also a noun. And noun describes a person, a place, or a thing. So this is why we attach the title God to ourselves. Pardon me, bro.
Yeah,
no worries.
The word
atheist.
But atheist. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say
the word atheist
from
two parts.
It's from
the original
A,
which means yes.
And
theos is theory.
Right.
So
atheos actually means the theory.
People say atheist means
you don't believe God. It's not technically that means, but it's defined that way now.
Right. Because Dios, that's how you say God in Spanish, But that's how they look at the word, as in terms of you don't believe in a higher power, and the higher power is called God. In Arabic it's called Allah, in Hebrew Elohim. You know what I'm saying? And you can go on in many different cultures. They all have a word to describe a higher power.
Right now, the founder
himself as Allah.
Mm-hmm. Why did
he do that?
Because from studying the lessons, the first degree in the 1 to 10 asks the question, who is the original man? And it says the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe. So by him studying that doctrine from the Nation of Islam, it helped him come into the realization of who he was. Like, yeah, I am Allah, Yes, that's talking about me. Because in the Nation of Islam, they was teaching that Master Farad Muhammad, well, they still do, teach that Master Farad Muhammad was is God, or was God, right? But now he had a problem with that, because even though the Nation of Islam said Master Farad Muhammad is still alive, I'm not going to go into that, but his teachings was that God is a living being. He's a living entity. So he would say, where is Farad at now? He said, if you want to see God, you got to keep reproducing, because God is a living being. You can't say a person that you can't see, or someone that died, he's God. He doesn't exist anymore. You understand? So he started to declare himself, I'm Allah. And he told his 5%ers to keep reproducing. This is how you continue to see God in the flesh.
Now you mentioned
Farad, who many lives had a more scientific meaning. Probably early 19, maybe in 1920.
The Nation of Islam have a problem with that, because they don't really agree with that Farad was in the temple. You know that, right?
I don't know
that.
Oh, yeah. A lot of them don't, because they even say Elijah was in the temple as well.
We say more
science. Yeah, the Moorish Science Temple. But Elijah Muhammad's brother, John Muhammad, said Elijah was never in the temple. And if you ever read the Theology of Time, Elijah Muhammad said that he used to teach them. But he himself never said, as far as I know from what I read, that he himself was in the temple, a part of the Moorish Science Temple. Even though you got pictures of them with the fez on.
That's interesting.
I was always told that Muhammad and Farad met at the Moorish Science Temple. I don't know if that means he was never.
No.
Actually,
I never heard that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, I never heard that.
But
here's the question. Elijah Muhammad and Farad didn't meet
at
some point.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Now,
Now, do you think, the question is, do you think that
the nation
of God's earth
would
would exist
if
if Farad never met Elijah Muhammad?
Probably not.
Okay.
So now
believe me, we give credit to Farad too. We can't dismiss him because those questions and answers that we study come from Farad and Elijah. So we definitely got to give credit where credit is due. All played a part in us.
Even some of the dialect from some things that Matthew written to you, the slang, the nation of God's dialect would be what it is if there was no master.
Okay, so when you say the slang and dialect, because don't forget, Allah, he came up with the principles of mathematics and our supreme alphabets himself. He didn't get that from the Nation of Islam. What he brought and gave to the 5% nation was the what we call 120 lessons, what they call supreme wisdom. But the lessons, that came from them. But the supreme mathematics and our supreme alphabet is what he put together and gave to us.
So that could have possibly been if there was no Farad.
Yeah. I would say that, yes.
Possibly.
Okay.
So let's say you're at a parliament, or you're at a film proof. In conversation, someone said everything in the lessons is right and exact. How do you respond to that?
No, I would tell them, well, I don't see everything as being right and exact in the lesson. Some things is subject for interpretation. Something to me is wrong. It's not like the Holy Grail or anything where we look at it like that. It's information that leads you to a higher study, So we look at certain things in the lessons, right? And we said, wow, okay, I understand why he said this or whatever. Falcon put it like this. Let me put it like this, how Falcon put it one day. He said the lessons was a little light mixed with darkness. You understand? But you needed that at that time because you trying to reverse the polarity, meaning the mindset of the black man at that time. So the way the teachings, because it's things that I don't agree with in the teachings. Like, I don't really believe there was a man named Yaqub, but it's in the lessons. And they teach about how he, manufactured the Caucasian and all that. I don't really accept that story like that. But I know, see, now this goes back into African culture to me, period. Because we always dealt with the science of storytelling, through pictorial or whatever. This is how we told stories. So I look at some of that stuff as storytelling, but there's a principle, there's a lesson within the lesson that's being taught. So our job is to extract the lesson from the lesson. See, now, whether Caucasian came about on the island of Patmos from a man named Yaqub, we know that they came from us. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. We know that. You know what I'm saying? Because black is the dominant germ. So we know that black people we are the prototype from which all others come from. So we know that. We know all this to be factual. Now, how it came about, we still digging for that. We can't say for a fact that even down to, what's his name? Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, when he said through migration and, we lost melanin and all that, when we migrated out of Africa into Europe or whatever, and this is how we became white. That's a theory. That's his theory. You know what I'm saying? There's no scientific 100% proof that that's how it happened. But one thing we all can agree on, that they came from us. That the black man and the black woman are the mothers and fathers of civilization. That's a fact. We know that. They can't dispute that, even if they try.
So you're saying lessons, stories, and a lesson is out for you. You should be able to extract the lesson from
Yeah, not all, but some. You know, metaphorically speaking, allegorically speaking, you know, it's about, you know, what you get from it. Like I said, that's why they call lessons, you know, because it's a lesson being taught.
Yeah, so the portion of the lesson by Elijah and Elijah Muhammad said, "We, the nation of Islam, don't believe in the teaching percent." But in the lessons in 14, Christopher Columbus is America. And so, although he said we don't use it to the 10%, teachers in the 10% actually made its way to lessons. So, what is your perspective?
Well, see, when I was coming out, well, and it may still be seen this way today. The 10% in the lessons are the rich slave makers of the poor, you know. So they teach the poor lies so they can profit from it, you know. So they teach them to believe in something outside of themselves, to keep searching for something, you know, while they profit. So now, when you say in the 1 of 14, when he speaks about Christopher Columbus coming to America, now when you listen to Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, and they came before Columbus, according to his studies, Columbus never came to North America. And he made 4 voyages, you know. So I look at that as this. Elijah gave us the best of what he had, you know. Not that he intentionally lied, but maybe that's as far as his research took him. So that, you know, so he told it based on what he knew or what he was taught. So it's our job to always continue to study and to research, like I said, to uncover the facts. And then sometimes you come to find out, wow, okay, Columbus never came to North America. You know?
Right. So the lesson, I believe that's your age.
Yeah.
So
33 and 34.
Say it again.
I'm saying 33 in 1933 and 1934.
Okay.
The lessons was put together. The supreme wisdom, yes.
Okay, so now in the lesson, it says who's the original? It says the original man is Daddy Black.
Yes.
Some people push back and say the original man African Black. How would you respond to that?
Well, see, I have no problem with that. Because, see, Elijah Muhammad, see, in the teachings of the Nation of Islam, they say that the whole planet Earth was called Asia. He said you had north, east, west, south, you know, Asia. So that's why he said that the black man is the Asiatic black man, not the African black man.
I push back against that a little bit.
I push back against that as well, but go ahead.
Okay. The Earth was called Asia. But my question says by whom and what period of history? They never clarified.
No. Right, you're right. That's why I tend to believe that a lot of his teachings came from the Moorish Science Temple, because they don't use the term black. You know, they use Asiatic. Me, myself, you know, a black man and a proud black man and a Pan-African and a black nationalist, I'm not one. I don't use the term Asiatic. You know, even though it's in the lessons. But see, I was telling you where it came from. You know, that came from Elijah Muhammad. He identified the whole planet Earth as being called Asia or Al-Asia. That's what he called it. You know, And he also had a degree in the lessons in the 1 and 14. Why does the devil call our people Africans? You know, and you know he's saying that they call us African to try to divide us to make that we are all different. He said the original people call this continent Asia, but the original people call it. Oh no, he said it call it Africa to try to divide us. He wants to think that we are all different. So my problem with that is, see, a lot of them think that Africa was named by what was his name? Africanus Major. Africanus Major.
Right.
But he didn't name it Africa. When he conquered Hannibal during the Punic Wars, they named him after the country he conquered. You know? So he took on the name Africa. That's a debate within itself in terms of they can't really even pinpoint where the name Africa came from.
Well, based on my
research,
comes from
word F.A.C.T,
which was the nation
northern portion of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And Ka,
I think is the Greek or Roman land.
Yeah.
So when they were conquer
the continent,
they would say Africa or land of Africa. So the root of African.
Yeah, well, that's also one of them, you know, because they went through different name changes. You know, when you read Dr. Ben, and you know, they say they called it Akibulan, you know. But my thing is this. We as black people, we agree on Africa, that the continent is called Africa. Africa is the birthplace of black people. So I have no problem with that. I'm not going to be calling myself an Asian. You know, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Because
the word Asia, Latin word for the Greek language.
And if we understand with the
people, we know we have languages that are a lot older than Latin.
Oh, yes, definitely. They say Asia come from the word Asu, which means land of the rising sun. You know, so that's also one of the definitions. But
just another piece. Go ahead.
No, but now we're dealing with language. Where did it come from? You know what I'm saying? It goes back to Latin and Greek. But go ahead, my brother.
I'm understanding. Brother F.A.C.T.
He
taught that in the late 1920s, in the early 1930s, the archaeologists were doing digs in Asia trying to find out what was the art. Hadn't arrived at Africa yet because of academic racism. We know now that there's a monogenetic origin in Africa.
Right.
He said that they found fossils, human remains in Peking, China. Peking is what they call Beijing. Changed the name.
So you can search this.
Peking man.
Peking man.
I heard Peking man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the early 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
And so
when archaeology came up, well, Asia is the best of humanity.
It was
either Elijah or maybe that's the world. Asia is the birth of humanity, then the original man is Asiatic black. From my understanding, that's how that came into play in the early 1930s.
Oh,
you know anything about that?
No, I don't know anything about that. I never heard that one in terms of where Elijah Muhammad got that from.
Yeah, if you
search the man, it's the early 1930s. Around that.
Mm-hmm.
And
the word out from what I understand, the Arabic word out with black. So they're saying that's
Al.
As in Algeria.
Well, Al in Arabic means the.
Okay.
Yeah, it means the. Because Allah, the word Allah means the God.
Okay.
You know, yeah, so Al in Arabic means the or the.
Right now, when
the left Asiatic make their own kingdom, follow civilization out of the universe.
Did that give the
youth self-esteem?
You said self-esteem?
Yes.
Oh, sure. Knowing that you are, you know, that you're God, knowing that you are the supreme being, that you are the first or the source from which all others come from, yes, that should definitely make you, especially after all what we were going through and how we are looked upon in society, and how we looked upon all over the world. Sure, that should definitely make all black people feel proud and feel good.
Now,
But
when you heard
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, it seems like that message hasn't resonated all over yet.
and when you
And
heard
when you heard this
out
in the 1970s, how did you feel the first time you heard it?
Well, let me see. I gotta try to take myself back there because, for one, 5% Nation, it was a fad. It was definitely faddish, and it was also it was trendy, but it was also uplifting. Because when I got knowledge in '79, it came 2 years after Roots had just came. Because Roots came in '77, so that already started to spark a lot of curiosity within black people, and we started learning the history of what we went through. Because a lot of black family, they don't teach about slavery. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even, you didn't learn about, a lot of us didn't even know about that until we watched Roots. Because it wasn't taught in the school system. So when you start to, so that also, I would say, inspired me to become a 5%er. Because I became a 5% in '79, but I knew about it before 1979 now. But I was young then. So I wasn't ready to, to be a part of that as of yet. And then at that time, we were being bused to white schools in the '70s, to all white neighborhoods. I went to a high school called Grover Cleveland, right in Queens, and it was predominantly all white at that time, and they didn't want us there. So we were going through all that back then. So the lessons fell in my lap at the right time.
and there's
busing for people who want to learn more about what he's talking about as it relates to busing.
So you're saying
it came to you at the perfect
Yeah, the perfect time.
Okay.
Yes.
And we
talked about
the
lessons that may be allegory, literally, of things that need to be updated.
If there's no
centralized, then will the lessons ever be updated?
No. We're not going to update the lessons. We're going to leave them just as. Because like I said, the objective is to study the lessons. We study them. Not to say we swear by them. We study them. And like I said, that enhanced you to go into a deeper study. That's what it do. You know what I'm saying? So, we're not changing anything. We're going to leave it just as. For one, like I said, it's not even our doctrine. That doctrine come out of the Nation of Islam. So we're not changing their doctrine, though, or whatever. But we study the lesson. We try to grasp what's being taught within the lessons, and we try to implement that within our life. That's what
most black people who come across are going to be black Christians, and they don't understand the Spanish point at all. So if you see them that you're not a Christian, somehow they think you have no morals, which is a lot of people because the first question, are they moral? Not really. So do you learn morals as a member of the Cosmos?
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. Because like I said, we deal with our foundation is rooted in supreme mathematics, right? So within the supreme mathematics, we have an order like knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, freedom, power, farm, equality, God, build, destroy, born, and then the cipher represents the completion. To that order, like today's date is the 22nd. Today's mathematics will be wisdom. See, every day we deal with the science of mathematics. Because like I said, mathematics give you order and structure, where you ain't just walking around out here aimlessly. It's a purpose and it's a reason. Because the only reason and purpose you have for your life is what you give it. So you have to bring order and structure to your life. So we use supreme mathematics, which the first principle is knowledge. We say that knowledge comes through looking, listening, and observing, and to also respect. We say to also respect. Now, you may not agree with what somebody's saying, but you have to respect what they're saying, you know? So we teach that, and those are part of our basic fundamentals here, you know? We have a dietary law, you know, in terms of how you should be eating, how you should be living, righteous, trying to live a righteous way of life. We deal equality is within our mathematics, meaning that to deal equal with people, to treat people how you want to be treated. So all that's embedded within our foundation of this. Those are the fundamentals to teach you how to deal with people. You know what I'm saying? How to receive people, things like that. So there's definitely structure all within them, a moral code.
You mentioned
knowing the daily facts, and I think that's the most popular drill or exercise comes out of 5% culture.
You're from the
70s.
You know, at the time if you sit down, you didn't know the base mathematics.
Oh yeah,
that was
a problem.
You could have a problem.
Oh, that was a serious problem. Yeah. You know, we were young, you know what I'm saying? Like, so back in them days, you know, if someone approached you, asked you today's mathematics, you didn't know it, everybody would deal with it differently. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers be upset. Some brothers would no, you wrong, brother. This is what it is. Some brothers would take offense that you came out your house and you don't know the day's mathematics, you know? And they may want to take it on a different level, you know? See, it was all about checks and balances. We kept each other in check like that, you know? So you knew you ain't leaving this house and you don't know your lessons or your mathematics. Like I said, it was also a part about being young, too, at that time. That's how we were dealing with each other.
So the universe,
that's not something.
Yeah, you want yeah, back in the days, yes, that definitely happened. Because, for one, it definitely wasn't right. I'm not saying that's right at all. But having this information and being young at the same time, you know, brothers, they ran away with it in terms of, you could even say push good brothers away. But for one reason, it was like you lied. If you say you know this lesson, I act you don't know it, it's like you lied now. So now brothers took it upon themselves to serve justice on you. Like I said, it wasn't right, but a part of being adolescents and things like that all played a part too. You know, to keep brothers in line, make sure you say you know what you know, and you know, and brothers did beat brothers up for not knowing lessons and things like that.
Now there's never been a big budget documentary or movie about the nation of the entrepreneur.
Is that
good or bad?
I'm not going to say it's good or bad, but I heard brothers talk about doing it, but it's just something that never, you know, happened. But brothers been talking about putting this together for years, but it just never, you know, brothers didn't come together. And now, a lot of brothers have died. You know what I'm saying? Over the past 3-4 years, a lot of brothers and sisters, you know, due to COVID and the other thing. So it probably would be kind of hard, but it's probably something that still should be thought about, you know, putting together. Because they did put a book together. I don't know if you know that.
I saw that.
You saw the book?
I know of it.
Michael Muhammad.
No. Not his book. No. Brothers have written books, but no, books put together by the gods and the earth.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. They put together a book a few years ago, you know, and they had individual brothers and sisters telling their story, you know, when they came to the nation, because they wanted to, you know, assimilate this amongst brothers and sisters who's coming to learn and teach it and get the true history from those who were there, not by brothers like Michael Muhammad Knight or outsiders talking about us who weren't there. This book was put together by brothers and sisters who were there at that time. It only went from 64 to 1969. And everybody gave their account of when they came to the teaching, what the teaching did for them, and how high it went at that time.
You mentioned a lot of brothers that are not here. That list is long. Allah be
Father Bushan.
Yeah.
And Brother C.I.T. was in that list. We'll go one by one. Allah be. Can you tell us about Allah?
Yeah. Like I said, I met Allah B when he came home. I always heard of him, but I physically got to meet him the day that they had the Million Youth March in Harlem. I think, what year that was? You remember?
That was Khalid Muhammad.
Yeah, when Khalid Muhammad had the Million Youth March. We were all
there that 96, 97.
No, I think it was later than that. Maybe 98, I believe.
98, somewhere like that.
Yeah, somewhere like that. So, after the Million Youth March, we heard Allah B was at the school. So, we all went over there to, like I said, I think at the last interview, he was like our Mandela.
He was a legend.
Right, he was a legend. He had just came home after doing, I think it was 27 years. So we all went to the school with me. I even took a picture with him that day. We lined up to take pictures with him. And, because we had always heard good things about him from being in the prison system. He was highly respected. Highly respected amongst the 5% and non-5% in the prison system. So he was like a political prisoner to us at that time,
And
they had campaigns to free him. They had many campaigns to free. His name was Born on Law at the time. But when he came home, he had changed it to Law B, but was originally Born on Law.
Okay. Father Bushan, another good brother.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about him?
Yeah, he was a good brother, I met Father Bushan. I used to hang with his brother. He got a brother named AZ Allah, Asiatic U Allah. And I met him, a pure gentleman, a great guy, very respectable brother, and I felt like, he represented this in an upright manner, always on his square to me.
Yeah,
when first time I heard him speak about buying land and very upwardly motivated. I was very impressed.
Yeah. Me too. When I met him, but I knew him. I knew him for years because he originally come from Brooklyn too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
brother C.I.T. So I met him at a radio station first time back in the late '90s. Another good brother.
What can you tell us about him?
Yeah. See, I met C.I.T. Kid when I started going to Queens, right? I started going to the civilization class. Cause I already knew Father Bushan. He was living in Queens at that time, right? So I started going out there. Because I was invited out to the civilization class by a brother named Allah Relativity and King Asiatic. So they told me about the classes on Jamaica Avenue they was having. This was back in, I believe, 96 or 97, something around there. So that's where I met Sia Kill at. I don't even think he knew 120 lessons at the time yet. But he was the chairman of the board. Father Bushan was the chairman and Sia Kill was the co-chairman. So I was coming out on the regular. And I was dealing with a sister out there in Queens at that time too, who was my earth. Her name was Star at the time. So they wanted me to join the board. But Sia Kill didn't want me to join the board. He said, nah. He said he ain't from Queens. You had to live in Queens to join the board. And he didn't agree with that. Me being on the board, So me and him used to clash a lot, but it was all in love, We just, a lot of things we didn't see eye to eye on, but we had a great relationship outside of that. Eventually he accepted me on the board. They put me out the room, they had a meeting, and he gave in and said, all right, he can be on the board. That's when you were coming out there, you would see me out there, a part of the cipher out there. Yeah, see a kill.
When I met you, I met you in Queens.
Right, yeah. I was always out there, but now I'm from Brooklyn.
Got it.
Born and raised.
Yeah. Brother C.R. Kill was number one. He was always on his
yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Yeah,
salute to him. But for the last 5 minutes that I left, I want you to focus on saving our babies. Saving our babies.
Yes. Saving our babies is what me and my queen, beautiful Umi Nifa Earth, put together. Like I said, it started in the house. Because we had said that while she was pregnant, we didn't want my daughter to go to the school system. She was going to homeschool. So when my daughter was born, like I said, we had already agreed upon that. So when she started becoming of school age, we had to think of something. And prior to that, she started watching other people's children. So in this apartment where I'm at right now, she would have 2 or 3 children. Then somebody else would hear about it, and they would bring their child here. So her and I, we put together a 501c3 called Saving Our Babies. We filled out for the paperwork and all that. So she started here in the home first. Then we got too big for the home. And when she found the space down on Kosciuszko Street, I think you've been there too. That was the first spot.
That was it.
You came to right. Yeah, so we started there, until we got too big for that. And then we had to go to the space where we're at now. But like I said, that's not the address now is 958 Lafayette Avenue. That's the address, Saving Our Babies,
Okay.
So, like I said, that's not the end game, because as we continue to grow, we're going to expand on the space, because we need things like this for our children.
Absolutely.
This is definitely a need. And I wish more original people, meaning black people, would share that mindset. Because we got to break these shackles, of this system. We definitely have to start teaching our own. Look within the school system in terms of the gay curriculum and all that, confusing our babies, and you don't even have a say so. You just gotta eat that. With all that what they pushing on our babies today. So I feel more parents should be homeschooling. I know everybody can't do it, because people have to work and do things like that. But that's the purpose of forming a whole school collective. Even if you can't do it, you can put your child in one. Especially to me, one that's African centered. That should definitely be the key focus. When they can learn their history,
That's absolutely
saying my book to bring about 6 jewels of self, which is food, clothes, shelter, education, medication, and so.
Yeah,
provide all those things.
That's right.
You're on that track. I salute that. You guys do so much in your also, right?
Thank you, my brother. And we love all the support you and your family give us.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's a necessity. We're on the right track. I got the muscle.
Yeah. Like I said,
you have an event coming up on the 29th. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, that's a play that my Earth and her teachers is putting together for the children. It hasn't been finalized yet because the children are still trying to learn their script. So it hasn't really been finalized of yet if they're ready to do it right now. So it's like it's a tentative date, the 29th. But they still rehearsing and trying to do it. So she don't know if she's gonna really use that date yet, or she may have to push it back.
All right. So
All right.
if
So if
people
people
want
want more,
more, to Saving Our Babies Inc. at
Saving Our
gmail.com.
Babies Inc. at gmail.com.
The
Yes.
email again is Saving
The
Our
email
Babies
again is
Inc.
Saving Our Babies Inc.
at
at
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, brother C, I
Yes,
want to
brother
thank you
C, I
for
want to
joining
thank
us.
you for joining us.
God, bring you
God
back and
bring
do
you
it a
back
third
and
time.
do it a third time.
Yes. It's my pleasure, brother.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
And I
We'll talk
appreciate
again
We'll
what
talk
you
soon.
again soon,
doing.
bro.
Yes.
Say it again.
No,
Say
I
it
said I
again.
appreciate what you doing.
Oh, most
Oh,
definitely.
most
Most
definitely. Most
definitely.
definitely.
We're going to
We're going to
involve you as
involve
often.
you as well.
Yes.
All right,
It's
brother.
not a
All right,
Peace.
brother.
problem.
Peace.
All right, peace, my brother. You
All
have a
right, peace.
good
All right,
day.
peace.
You too.
Peace.
You
Thanks, man.
too. Thanks, man.